Welcome back, everyone, to my channel, Mr. for Christopher, the House of Mr. for Christopher. We're going to get started with our learning pod today. Let's see, we have 10 minutes. I'm going to start the timer. Okay, here we go. Let's start out with a quote from Arnold J. Toynbee. Tell me if this quote resonates with you. Civilization is a movement and not a condition, a voyage and not a harbor. Does that resonate with you? Perhaps you have been with me in the last few videos struggling to come up with a definition for civilization. So, if you've been keeping up with the last few videos and are trying to identify or define civilization or come up with a word that encapsulates the concept of civilization, please put it in the comments, and then I will use that for our further classes when we talk about what is a civilization. I think we're slowly getting somewhere, though. Would you agree? All right. Civilization is a movement and not a condition, a voyage and not a harbor. If you are just tuning in to our learning pod, it's for teenagers up to adults. I think you'll be able to follow and enjoy the whole way it's outlined. One of the ways we're going to go through our learning pods is through this method, and we'll just review it briefly. And it's pronounced grapes, Grapess. And these are factors to analyze ancient civilizations and cultures. Okay? These are key factors. We're going to look at geography. We're going to look at religion, the beliefs. We're going to look at achievements. A is for achievements. P is for politics. E for economics, and S is for social structure. There are different questions that we're going to ask as we go through these different pillars of a civilization. Who was in charge for politics? What were the laws? Social structure. Who had power or privilege? Was it upwardly mobile? The geography, that's an important part in setting up a civilization as well. So this will help us navigate through history. Now notice there's one more S. What is that last S? We have geography, religion, achievements, politics, economics, social structure, and the last one is scrolls. What are scrolls all about? Well, let's check it out. I've created a little graphic to help you understand what scrolls is about. Let's look at it. What are you thinking? Scrolls. Here are the big questions. What documents were created during this time period? What laws, records, or agreements are written down? This sort of piggybacks with politics and social structure, right? Here's where we start to get a little bit deeper. What stories, myths, or histories were recorded? What religious or sacred texts reference this culture? This will be interesting. How was wisdom preserved and passed down? Can we capture some of the wisdom of that culture? And how do later writings shape the culture's history and legacy? So that's part of the scrolls that we're going to be examining. All right? Let me keep it up so you can take maybe a screenshot of it. Okay. So let's jump into our discussion today. Are you ready? Let me cue up the alien music. Aliens are circling the earth. And as they're circling the earth, they come close to what is called a bonsai bar. And as they go using their hyper telescopic lenses, they see two humanoids engaging in some sort of activity. What is this activity? What do you think? Put it in the comments below. What is this? What's he saying? What's she saying? What's he thinking? What's she thinking? 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi. Let me ask you a question. What holds, or maybe I should go like this. What holds people, relationships, communities, cultures, nations, civilizations together in unity? Let's take on a simple yet complicated relationship, what you saw before. What holds them together? I'm going to pull up a collage, and we're going to skip down maybe from that scene in the bonsai bar to, I don't know, 3 months later. Is that too much, everybody? Too little? 6 months? Let's say a year later. Okay? Let's compromise. 13 months later, what do you see? What's holding this couple together? Probably the first thing you're thinking is love, right? Respect, right? Yeah, but look at some of these other little details. Top left-hand corner, what do you see? Top left-hand corner, got an engagement ring. Then we have vows. And then we have a symbol of the vows, right? 2 rings to symbolize they're coming together. Then what do we have here? This is sort of a spiritual aspect of it, right? Before an ordained minister, they're declaring these vows. And then we have witnesses to this arrangement of agreement, right? And then down here we have the legal aspect, right? Between the couple and the state, right? Signatures. And then there's a celebration. And then there's little cultural things that people do, cut the cake, all these different types of things, right? So all these are just a few cultural things in society that keep, or is the beginning of keeping, a man and a woman together. So, what is a nation? A nation is a collection of people. So what does a nation do to hold their people together in unity? For $1 million. $1 million. Write in the comments, what does a nation do to keep people together in unity? I'll give you a couple seconds. Here is an image that's very familiar to you, but look at the details, beautiful people. Look at the details. What's happening here? This is called, of course, a Pledge of Allegiance, right? A pledge or a vow, right? You have a flag, a symbol, right? Everyone's doing it together at an appointed time. Look at the details of this picture. I'll give you 5 Mississippis. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4. 4 Mississippi, 5 Mississippi. Those are school children in 1899 reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. The Pledge of Allegiance has been used in the United States for over 100 years. Yet, the 31 word oath recited today that most children know by heart, most people know by heart, differs significantly from the original draft. The idea of a verbal vow to the American flag, first gained traction in 1885. There was a general. Let me see if I can pull up a picture for you. His name is General George, and it's Balch. And you can definitely see he's a man of his time. Okay. General George. Got the image? So General George Balch, Balch, devised a version that read, "We give our heads and our hearts to God and our country, one language, one flag." Isn't that interesting? Did you catch another way of unifying a nation in that little version of a pledge? Let's see. Oh my goodness, we're at 104 already, everybody. Oh, we're overtime. Okay, wrap it up, Miller. Okay, so language, flag, verbal vow. Let's look at our next image. Another way a country unifies its people. Can you figure out what this is? There are a couple of clues that lets you know what is happening in this image. I'll give you 5 Mississippis. Okay, obviously there's some sort of feast. What do you notice about the hands together? What does that symbolize to you? That symbolizes prayer, right? And prayer also symbolizes what? When someone prays. Prayer, praise, beseeching, but also thankfulness. And then when you look at the items on the table, does it give it away? Yes, you got it right if you're saying this is a Thanksgiving meal. This is definitely part of the Western world, specifically in America. What we're going to look at now will be probably our last image, and then we'll part 2 this, okay? The first Thanksgiving dinner. I'll give you 10 Mississippis. We used to do this when we were kids. My dad would ask me, okay, what's different in the room today? So we had to look around and try to figure out what's different. So I'll give you 10 Mississippis. What I want you to do is to write in the comments what you observed and what was maybe wrong or questionable with the painting. It's called The First Thanksgiving, 1621, Oil on Canvas by Jean-Léon Jérôme Ferris, 1899. And it's a fictionalized depiction of the traditional first Thanksgiving. Tell me what you see in that image. Oh my goodness, beautiful people. We are going over by like 3:55. So we can't have you leave without filling out an exit ticket. Oh my goodness, I dropped it. All right, here we go. That's how you know it's not AI. I'm making mistakes. Okay. So it really stuck. Share one thing that you learned that will stick with you in our little learning pod today. So, beautiful people, we will part 2 this. Looking forward to see you again. And I will respond to your comments. And if you know anybody who's interested, please feel free to share the channel. Also, give me ideas if you want some. I have loads, believe me. But if you have some that you'd like me to feature as well, please let me know. Take care, beautiful people. Thank you for joining Mr. For Christopher and the house of Mr. For Christopher.